energetic and enthusiastic students. ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ? Welcome you all to PW Kannada 9th and 10th channel and to the batch Abhimanyu. ಹೇಗಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಲೈಫ್? ಹೇಗಿದೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಿಡ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ಸ್? ಸೊ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ NCERT Exemplarದು 36 MCQ questions ಅನ್ನ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ. Hope you have watched it. So let's begin with today's class. ಈ today's class ನಲ್ಲಿ what are we going to do? Exemplar ಇದು excuse me, exemplar idu short type questions, short answer type questions, long answer type questions, idu keywords which are very very important we are going to discuss. The entire answer for the respective marks na ನೀವು construct ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು. The major keywords I would be writing it on the board. So all set, let's begin today's class. The very first question begins like this. Iqbal treated a lustrous divalent metal M, divalent element M. Divalent. What do you mean by divalent? ಒಂದು M ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಂತಹ ಮೆಟಲ್ಗೆ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಿ is 2, ಕಂಬೈನಿಂಗ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ is 2 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು. With sodium hydroxide he treats that, he observes the formation of bubbles. ಈಗ divalent metal ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ I can write calcium 2+, oxygen 2-, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ, ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಮೇಲೆ ಮೆಗ್ನೀಷಿಯಂ ಇದೆ. I can write magnesium 2+. Divalent positive anta helilvalla. So divalent anta helidre it is combining with 2 other atoms or by sharing 2 electrons. Sharing alla, losing or gaining 2 electrons. Positive it could be or negative. It could be positive or it could be negative. Calcium 2+, barium 2+. These are the metals which shows 2 positive charges on a regular mode, right? Zinc 2+. ಇದೆಲ್ಲವುಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಏನು? Divalent cation. If I would write here sulfide 2-, it is divalent anion. Oxide 2-, sulfide 2-, or -2. Divalent anions. ಅವರು divalent element ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. It should be an ion, but we don't know whether it is positive or negative. Let's check the further explanation. A metal M anta heluvanthadu is reacting with sodium hydroxide. So not metal, the divalent element M is reacting with what? Sodium hydroxide. M is reacting with sodium hydroxide. And it is forming obviously one major product. Along with that, bubbles. Bubbles are nothing but some gases which is coming out of a solution. Aita? He made the same observation when this element was treated with hydrochloric acid. ಈಗ bubbles ಬರ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, do you consider metal or non-metal? Oxygen, sulfurs are what? Non-metals. And you know that non-metals cannot react with this acid or base on a normal range to give bubbles of hydrogen gas. So I cannot take this. Now I have the options of taking all this. And it is lustrous, shiny. Calcium is also shiny, zinc is shiny, magnesium is shiny, but still it has a kind of patchy impurity on its surface. Barium is a heavy metal. So easy, you can take zinc because zinc equation is already given in your NCERT. Right? So what do I do? Now I came to know that a bubble is coming. The element M is a metal because only metal can react with acid or base to produce gas. Alva. So now he made the same reaction. He treated with hydrochloric acid and you also observed here bubbles. So acid jote base jote bubbles barta ide and it is element. Athwa you can take one atom of it. Artha aita? Iga question ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು to write the chemical equation for both. How he can identify the produced gas. ಹೇಗೆ produced gas ಅನ್ನ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಅ ಮೆಟಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಬೇಸ್. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಸಿಡ್. ವೆನ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಗೆಟ್ ವಾಟ್? ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಗೆಟ್ salt plus H2 gas. Salt plus H2 gas. A metal idu characteristic enu? Divalent. I am taking zinc. Zinc with sodium hydroxide. When zinc is reacting with sodium hydroxide, Oxygen, there are 2 oxygen, zinc is the guest, and 2 sodium also will come. So it forms sodium zincate, Na2 ZnO2 plus hydrogen gas. Now, how did you get the product Na2 ZnO2? Tell me. How did I teach you? O2. There are 2 oxygen. 2 oxygen is combining. So it should have some charge. It is not in the free state. So 2 oxygen is going to combine with whom? Yaar jote combine aagtidare? Zinc matte sodium jote combine aagtidare. It should carry some charges. Alva? One oxygen ge -2. There are 2 oxygen. Total charge is going to be now -4. What is the charge of single oxygen? -2. One more single oxygen, -2. Club madidre total charge should be -4. Who is the guest here? Zinc. What is the charge of zinc? +2. +2 -4. Estulitu. Again, the total balance is -2. You have to balance now. You have to balance +2 -2. You have to cancel that -2 charge. So I am adding 2 times sodium. Because 1 sodium get plus, if I write here 2 times sodium, it becomes, the whole compound becomes neutral. You have learnt this, right? In your 9th standard. There are rules to write the compound, alva? Overall charge of a compound should be neutral anta heli kaltidira, alva? Idana higo artha madkoli. There are 2 oxygen. Okay? For 1 oxygen -2 charge. For another oxygen -2 charge. So 2 oxygen again -4 charge. And zinc is a reactive element. Okay? Charge cancels. Now ZnO2 has what charge? -4 plus 2. If you subtract +2 from -4, the remaining charges -2. So what is the charge of sodium? +1. So each charge will come here. This charge will go here, exchanging the charge. This also you have learnt in which standard? 9th standard, right? ZnO2 charge is -2. So like this you have learnt. So what should be the formula? Na2 ZnO2. Na2 ZnO2. Artha aita? Now getting back to the main answer. So one thing we understood, we could have taken anything here because calcium is also divalent, lustrous. No need of taking only zinc, but we have taken zinc because in NCERT, with sodium hydroxide, they have given only zinc reaction. Let's take it. Alva? Jotege, when zinc is reacting with hydrochloric acid, we get zinc chloride plus hydrogen gas. Zinc chloride and hydrogen gas. Very good. Smart. Next question. Before that, write a chemical equation for both the reactions. Aste kelidare, balance ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ, state symbol ಬರೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. So it is okay. If you want to, you can write the name of the product. What is the name of this product? Name of the product is sodium zincate. Sodium zincate. Even if you balance, it will be 2 here. That's it. The whole equation is balanced. Here if you balance, it will be 2. That's it. State symbol baritira. Solid. Here also solid. This is aqueous. This is aqueous. Idu solid. Idu kuda aqueous baribodu. Ili gas. This is aqueous antanu baribodu. Solid antanu bariri. H2, because it is water soluble solid. So aqueous antane barbidi. Salt ge majority of the salts are water soluble ಆಗಿರುವ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ you can write it as majority ಅಲ್ಲ, ಕೆಲವೊಂದಷ್ಟು salts ಅಲ್ಲ, water soluble ಅಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲಿ ನಾವು ಹೋಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೇನೆ ನಮಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಸ್ ಬರಿಬೇಕಾ ಎಲ್ ಬರಿಬೇಕಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗೋದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೈ ದೇ ವೋಂಟ್ ಡಿಡಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಮಾರ್ಕ್. ಆಯ್ತಾ? 38th question. During an extraction of metals, ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, electrolytic refining is used to obtain pure metal. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಲಿಟಿಕ್ ರಿಫೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ, ಒಂದು ಪ್ಯೂರಿಟಿಯನ್ನು ಅವರು ತಗೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಒಂದು ಮೆಟಲಿಗೆ. ವಿಚ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಆ್ಯನೋಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಥೋಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ರಿಫೈನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಿಲ್ವರ್. ಈಗ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ನ ನೀವು ರಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಮೇಜರ್ ಆಗಿ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಒಂದು ಇಂಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಆ್ಯನೋಡು, ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಥೋಡ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ 1 ಇಂಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಆ್ಯನೋಡ್. ಸೊ ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ನ ರಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಟೇಕ್ impure silver as anode. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು ಕ್ಯಾಥೋಡ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ should be your cathode. And you should have some salt solution which can conduct electricity. That should be what? Salt of silver, right? So salt of silver, simple one I'll write here. AgNO3, silver nitrate salt solution. Okay, silver nitrate salt solution. Artha? So they've asked you, suggest a suitable electrolyte. Suitable electrolyte yavdu illi? Silver nitrate. Which material will be used as an anode? Impure silver. Cathode pure silver. Connected, cathode is connected to the positive end, right? So connect ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, that's it. Next ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, in this electrolytic cell, ಇವಾಗ ಇದನ್ನ electrolytic cell ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನೀವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, where do we get pure silver after passing electric current? ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಆಗಿರುವ ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು? ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮೆಟಲ್, ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಥೋಡ್. ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ ಅನ್ನೇ ನೀವು ಕ್ಯಾಥೋಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ. ಬಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಪಾಸ್ ದಿ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಇಂಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಸಿಲ್ವರ್, Ag plus ions will come to the solution. From the solution, all the Ag plus gets deposited on cathode, right? Solution in the Ag plus ions elli deposit agutte? Cathode mele deposit agutte. Artha aita? 39 question. Why should the metal sulfide and carbonates to be converted should be converted to oxide form before reduction? Because reduction is easier to obtain, you know, if the metals are in their form of oxides. Easier to obtain metal if they are in the form of their oxides. If metals are in the form of carbonates or what do we say, sulfides, allinda reduce madudu kasta, oxide inda reduce madudu easy. Hagagi ನಾವು sulfide ore anna ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾವುದು zinc sulfide ore anna heat ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಜಿಂಕ್ ಕಾರ್ಬೋನೇಟ್ ಓರನ್ನು ನಾವು ಆ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಬದಲಿಗೆ ವಿ ವುಡ್ ಹೀಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ. ವಿ ಗೆಟ್ ಜಿಂಕ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್. ಇದನ್ನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಹಾಗಾದು ಜಿಂಕ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಸಲ್ಫರ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವೈ ಡು ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಸಲ್ಫೈಡ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾರ್ಬೋನೇಟ್ ಟು ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಇಂದ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಜಿಂಕ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಈಗ ಜಿಂಕ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದನ್ನ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಹೇಗೆ? ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಅಪ್ ದಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಮೊನಾಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಜಿಂಕ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮೆಟಾಲಿಕ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಈಗ ಜಿಂಕ್ ವಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್, ಅದನ್ನ ಮೆಟಾಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಪಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಈಸಿ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇವು ಈ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅಫಿನಿಟಿ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್. ಯಾಕೆ? ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ? ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅಫಿನಿಟಿ. Reducing agents will have affinity towards oxygen. Reducing agents will have affinity towards oxygen. Artha aita? Hagagi we do consider oxide form while reduction. That is why we have to convert all the sulfide and carbonate ore into oxide form. Okay, excuse me. 40th question. Generally, when metals are treated with mineral acids, hydrogen gas is liberated. Metals ana mineral acid jothe react ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ hydrogen gas liberate ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. You test it with burning splinter. So even for this question, the very first question they asked, how do you test anta heli. Here also, how do you test the gas? Suggest how we can identify the produced gas. There was a question with respect to Iqbal, right? So you identify that gas by bringing the burning splinter. If the gas is burning with pop sound, then you can confirm that the released gas is hydrogen gas. We were solving which question? Okay, we were on now 40th question. Here also metal is reacting with a mineral acid, releasing the hydrogen gas. But when metal except manganese and magnesium, what is Mn here? Manganese. Manganese and magnesium na bittu bere ella metals HNO3 ಜೊತೆ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ hydrogen is not liberated. Why? ಯಾಕೆ? because HNO3 act as an oxidizing agent. HNO3 act as an oxidizing agent. It oxidizes released H2 gas into water, and itself get reduced. To oxides of nitrogen such as NO, N2O, NO2, etc. So this is the major answer. Why HNO3 is behaving like an oxidizing agent? Because it is literally supplying oxygen, and that oxygen will bind with the released hydrogen gas. Instead of getting hydrogen gas as one of the byproduct, you get it as water. Okay, so that is the reason. Important question. This question is very important. Okay, now what extra you learn here? When magnesium or manganese is reacting with HNO3, here also when this magnesium is reacting with HNO3, because of their unique nature, okay, you get here magnesium nitrate plus H2 gas. Here also manganese nitrate plus H2 gas. Here you see H2 gas, but apart from magnesium or manganese, any other metal, in general I'll take it as M, reacted with HNO3, you will get salt or gases such as NO or N2O or NO2 as one of the product, and instead of hydrogen I should write here as water. This is what we observe with HNO3. Why? Because HNO3 is a oxygen provider. It is an oxidizing agent. Artha aita? Next, compound X and aluminum are used to join railway tracks. Identify the compound X, okay, and name the reaction. Write down its reaction. What is the name of this reaction? Thermit reaction. Thermit reaction. Okay, identify the compound X. Fe2O3 reacts with aluminum. So the X is nothing but Fe2O3. So we get what? Fe plus Al2O3. This Fe is very spongy. It cools down at room temperature. A room temperature nalli idu cool agutte, and that's how the railway tracks are jointed. Cracked railway tracks are getting jointed because of the spongy iron which is getting cooled at that temperature. Okay, this is a very famous reaction. Write down its reaction. I have written it. Balance the reaction. There are 2 Fe. I'll write here 2 Fe. And 2 aluminum. Write here 2 aluminum. Yes, that's it. Understood? Next question. We'll go for the next one. Okay. Pen kelage bidoytu. So question number 42. When a metal X is treated with cold water, it gives the basic salt Y. When a metal X is reacting with cold water, which metal reacts with cold water? There are only 2 metals, right? K and sodium. So out of these two, one is reacting, it gives a basic salt Y. Aitha? Whose molecular formula is XOH and molecular mass they have given as 40. It cannot be potassium because potassium hydroxide you check, sodium hydroxide you check. Mass of potassium is 23 plus oxygen is 16 plus hydrogen is 1, which is equal to 40. Potassium, mass of potassium is to 39 1 potassium has a mass of 39 plus oxygen 16 plus hydrogen is 1. So it is going to be 56 and sodium hydroxide is going to be 40. So it should be sodium reacting with cold water, forming sodium hydroxide with the liberation of hydrogen gas, which easily catches fire, that is hydrogen. So X is nothing but sodium. Y is nothing but sodium hydroxide. Okay, so see, they say that basic salt, alva. Metal X is treated with cold water, it gives basic salt. Why? Water, it's a basic compound, students, it's not a salt. Okay, with the molecular formula XOH and liberates a gas, easily catches fire. Identify X, Y, Z. So this should be Z. Okay, Z should be, this is X, this is Y, and this is Z. Artha aita? 43rd question. A non-metal X exists in two different forms, Y and Z. A non-metal X. A non-metal X. Are they talking about carbon? Yeah? We don't know. We'll consider it as non-metal X. Okay? Non-metal X is existing in two different forms, Y and Z. Y and Z. Y is the hardest natural substance. So it should be diamond. And diamond has carbon. So this X should be carbon. Right? One clue siktu namige. Yen clue adu? Y anta heluvanthadu hardest natural substance. Hardest natural substance yavadu agbeku? Carbon agbekalva. So hagagi illi diamond barde nanu Y jagdali I had written here diamond. Whereas Z is the good conductor. So Z should be graphite. Right? Z should be graphite. Identify X, Y, Z. So we identified here already. X is carbon. Y is diamond. Z is graphite. Next question. The following reaction takes place when aluminium powder is heated with MnO2. So this is how the reaction is. MnO2 is reacting with aluminium. Okay? MnO2 is reacting with aluminium. MnO2 plus aluminium forms Al2O3 plus Mn. So literally who reduced whom here? Aluminium has reduced manganese from manganese dioxide. Correct? MnO2 reacts with Al forming Al2O3. Is aluminium getting reduced? No. Aluminium is oxidized. It is actually getting oxidized. Is MnO2 getting oxidized? No. Again, it is getting reduced. It is getting reduced. Nodi makle, first of all, MnO2 ge already oxygen ide. Adu oxygen na kalkolta ide. So it is losing oxygen. So losing oxygen anta helidre yenu? Reduction. So MnO2 in the Mn. This process is reduction. Okay? Is Al2O3 is oxidized in the case? Aluminium is oxidized. Yes, aluminium is oxidized but not reduced, because for aluminium oxygen is added. Correct? For aluminium oxygen is added. Now 45th question we'll talk about. What are the constituents of solder alloy? Solder alloy, the constituent enu? Lead plus tin. H2 50%, 50%. Equal amount of lead and tin is together called as an alloy called solder. Why do we have to use? Which property of solder makes it suitable for welding electrical wires? Low melting point. So solder has a melting point which is lower because alloys the melting point ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ pure metal ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. Copper has great melting point, but copper's alloys such as bronze, brass, they don't have highest melting point compared to copper. Similarly, solder the low melting point iro karanakoskara you can easily melt it and fuse it with electrical wires. So solder has low melting point, so it is used for soldering or welding electrical wires together. 46th question. A metal A which is used in thermite process when heated with oxygen gives an oxide B. Okay, metal A is used in thermite process when heated with oxygen gives thermite process anta helidrenu Fe2O3 reacting with aluminium giving aluminium oxide plus Fe. This is nothing but what? Railway track fusing reaction or thermite reaction. Thermite reaction, right? Thermite reaction. So which metal do you use here in thermite reaction? Aluminium. Now with this aluminium you're treating oxygen O2, so you should get Al2O3. Artha aita? Which is amphoteric in nature. Al2O3 is amphoteric in nature. Al2O3 is amphoteric in nature. Identify A and B. So what is A here? A is aluminium. What is B here? Al2O3. This is A. Okay, this is A and Al2O3 is B. Now which is amphoteric in nature? Identify A and B. Write down the reactions of oxide B with HCl NaOH. Shall we? Al2O3 reacts with NaOH. Al2O3 reacts with HCl. So we should write the reaction AlCl3 plus HCl. Alva? Aluminium reacts with one second. Aluminium is positive here. Oxygen is negative. Hydrogen is positive. Chloride is negative. So aluminium should react with the negative part. So you get AlCl3. Why 3? Because aluminium charge is plus 3. That's why. Plus what is a byproduct you're getting? H and oxygen would react to form water. H2O. Right. So shall we balance the equation? There are 2 aluminium. Here you write 2 aluminium. 2 3s are 6 chlorine. So you write here 6. In order to make hydrogen 6 and oxygen 3. Because here oxygen you have 3. I multiplied here by 3. So equation with HCl is easy. If you had written this, 2 mark or 1 mark for you. First reaction. How do we write the product? Hege products na barithi now first reaction alli. Nanjote bariri. Aluminium, sodium hydroxide. First we have to get what? Oxygen has what charge? -4. Who is the guest here? Aluminium. Aluminium has a charge of +3. -4 plus 3. What is remaining now? For this AlO2, -1. Now we need to balance that -1 by just writing 1 in A. That is +1 -1 gets balanced. You get sodium aluminate. Sodium aluminate plus what? Water. Here also water will be formed. Balance the equation. There are 2. So I'll write here 2. Here also I'll write here 2. Oxygen becomes how much now? Here 3, here 2, 5. What about here? 2 2s are +1, 5. Oxygen is balanced. Sodium is balanced. Hydrogen. There are 2 hydrogen. Here also 2 hydrogen. Equation 1 is balanced. Equation 2 also balanced. Very, very, very important reaction this one is. 100% question for your examination. 100% question. Now, 47 question. A metal that exists as a liquid at room temperature. Which is that metal which exists as liquid at room temperature? Mercury. What is the full form of Hg? Hydrargyrum. Hydrargyrum. Or what is the English name? Mercury. Allah, Mercury it is. Now, this metal which is a liquid at room temperature is obtained by heating its sulfide in the presence of air. Sulfide, HGS. This is the ore of mercury. HGS is the ore of mercury. What is the name of HGS? What is the name of HGS? Cinnabar. What is the name of this HGS? Cinnabar. Okay. How do you get mercury now? By heating the sulfide ore in the presence of oxygen, we get mercury oxide plus sulfur dioxide. Now this mercury oxide should undergo, it is not stable, so it will not stay comfortably or stably, so it has to undergo decomposition reaction on heating to form Hg plus oxygen. Aita? So you get Hg plus oxygen. Identify the metal. Which metal? You identified it as mercury. It's ore. Cinnabar. Give the reaction involved. Here is the reaction. So let's balance the reaction. 1 mercury, 2 oxygen. There are 3 oxygen here. So in order to balance, I'll write here 2 and I'll write here 2. Mercury and sulfur becomes 2. Alva? In order to balance everything now, so mercury, sulfur, I'll just write here 2. Oxygen becomes 3 because total oxygen is 2 to 4 plus 2, 6 oxygen. In order to make 6 oxygen, I should multiply here by 3. 3 2s 6 oxygen. So 2 HGS plus 3 oxygen giving 2 HGO plus 2 SO2. 2 SO2. Got it? How do we balance the second equation? Right here 2 because oxygen the other side is 2. 2 HGO it becomes. Here also you add 2. 2 Hg plus oxygen. Artha aita? Easy. Next, 48th question. Give the formula of stable binary compound. What do you mean by binary compound which consists of 2 ions? That would be formed by the combination of following pairs of elements. Alright. 9th standard the question. Magnesium charges plus 2. Nitrogen charges minus 3. Cross the charge. So it becomes what? Mg3 N2. Now let's focus on this. Lithium charges plus 1. Oxygen charges, just I'll write O. Oxygen minus 2. Li, Li2O, Li2O. Though they have given 2 and 2 here, consider it single atomic state. Aluminium and chlorine. Aluminium and chlorine. Charges plus 3, charges minus 1. Cross the charge, so it becomes AlCl3. K and oxygen. K and oxygen. K and oxygen. K is plus 1. Oxygen is minus 2. Cross the charge, so K gets 2. K2 it becomes, oxygen becomes just plus 1. So it is K2O. Just K2O. Artha aita? Easy. 49th question. What happens when zinc carbonate is heated in the absence of oxygen? So we get A. A mixture of Cu2O and Cu2S is heated. That undergoes self-reduction. Okay? Cu2O plus Cu2S. You call this as what? Auto reduction or self-reduction. You get Cu plus SO2. Balance ಮಾಡಿ. SO2. There are 2 oxygen alva product side nalli. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಬರೀತೀರಾ. So copper ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು? 6 ಆಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ? 2 2s 4 plus 2. 6 copper. So I'll write here 6 copper. Sulfur ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು? ಒಂದಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದಿದೆ. The rest everything is balanced. Right? Next. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ವಾ what happens ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. Copper Cu gets reduced. Cu ಕಾಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹೇಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಕಾಪರ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ? ಎರಡೂ ಕಡೆ ಕಾಪರ್ ಯಾವ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿದೆ? ಕಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಅದು ಇವಾಗ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಯಾರ ಜೊತೆ ಕೂಡ ಕಂಬೈಂಡ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಆ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಯಾರ ಜೊತೆ ಕೂಡ ಕಂಬೈಂಡ್ ಆಗಲ್ವೋ ಅದು ಫ್ರೀ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೇ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಖರ್ಚೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ನೀವು ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಈದರ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಯು ಪಾರ್ಟಿ, that is nothing but you gain electron, or you have to give party to your friends. Like you are losing money, you are losing electron. Either oxidation happens, reduction happens, as easy, right? So if you're not with anybody, if you're single, then there is no lose, no gain of electron. It is in the neutral state. 50th question. A non-metal A is important constituent of a food and form two oxides overline B and C. Food is the important component of the non-metals. Iodine? No. Iodine is important only in salt, but not in all the food. Bromine? No, not at all. Sulfur? Maybe. Sulfur is present in hair, but hair is not a food. Sulfur is present in garlic, but garlic is not all the food. It's not a major component. It is one of the component. But then what? It talks about sulfur oxide. One is toxic. One is causing global warming. Global warming. Then which is it? Carbon dioxide. So which non-metal it should be? Carbon dioxide. So a non-metal A. Non-metal A is carbon. Aita? It constitutes the major part of our food, forming two oxides, B and C. So we have carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. Carbon monoxide is B, carbon dioxide is C. Now, B is toxic. Carbon monoxide is toxic. Aita? Carbon dioxide is forming global warming. Idu global warming ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Identify A, B, C. Already identify ಮಾಡಾಯ್ತು ನಾನು. B, C and A. To which group of the periodic table this belongs to? This is not there in your chapter for CBSE, but for state board it is there. In periodic table there are 18 groups, out of which carbon belongs to group 14, as it has 4 valency electron in it. Aita? Give 2 examples each of the metals that are good conductors. Good conductors ಗೆ 2 example ಕೊಡಿ ಹೇಳಿ. Best conductor is always silver, followed by copper, followed by aluminium. Poor conductors, ಅವರು 2 ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು ನಾನು 3 ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. Poor conductors ಯಾರು ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ? Mercury and lead, and you can also write gallium because gallium is easily melting, right? Cesium also you can write. Francium also you can write because all these are easily melting compounds. So, but in case of NCERT key answer anta heli hodre, you can write these two. 52nd question. Okay. Name one metal and one non-metal that exist in liquid state at room temperature. Liquid state nalli iruvantha non-metal is bromine. Just I'll write Br symbol. Bromine is non-metal. Non-metal. It's a gas. How do you imagine bromine when I say non-metal? Non-metal you cannot imagine. But bromine gas, just imagine in front of you, one brown color gaseous things are going like this. So non-metal is bromine. Metal. So they are asking, also name 2 metals having melting point less than 310. 310 Kelvin is nothing but 37 degrees Celsius. How do you calculate that? Kelvin is equal to degrees Celsius plus 273. 310 Kelvin is equal to degrees Celsius plus 273. Therefore, degrees Celsius is equal to 310 minus 273. 310 minus 273. 10 minus 3 is 7. Here it is now 10. 10 minus 7. Okay. 1 is gone. So this is just 0. You take one more. 10 becomes 10 minus 7 becomes 3. So 37 degrees Celsius. They're asking 37 degrees Celsius ಕೆಳಗೆ ಮೆಲ್ಟ್ ಆಗುವ ಮೆಟಲ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಒಂದು ಸೀಸಿಯಂ, ಅದರದ್ದು ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಸೆಲ್ಸಿಯಸ್ ಬಂದು 28.5. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಗ್ಯಾಲಿಯಂ ದಟ್ ಮೆಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ at 30. ನಾವು 37 ಕೆಳಗೆ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ ನಾವು ಎರಡು ಕೂಡ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಸೀಸಿಯಂ ಅಂಡ್ ಗ್ಯಾಲಿಯಂ. ಅಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಫ್ರಾನ್ಷಿಯಂ. Fr, francium. That also has the melting point nearly on 29 degrees Celsius, if I'm not wrong. You can check it once. So 53rd question. An element A reacts with water to form a compound B. A reacts, element is reacting, okay? Element A is reacting with water to form a compound. Compound, which is B, which is used in whitewashing. This compound is used in okay. The compound B on heating. Element A reacts with water to form a compound B. So if it is used in whitewashing, then it should be CaOH twice. Right? We have learned this equation many times. Now kaltidivi equations na. Hagidre element yavudagbeku? Ca. Water. CaOH whole twice. Nodi hege decode madidvi anta. Element to water compound siktu. ಆ ಕಂಪೌಂಡು ವೈಟ್ ವಾಷಿಂಗ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ವೈಟ್ ವಾಷಿಂಗ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಹೈಡ್ರಾಕ್ಸೈಡ್. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಹೈಡ್ರಾಕ್ಸೈಡಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟು ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ವಿತ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಟು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಹೈಡ್ರಾಕ್ಸೈಡ್. ಆಯಿತಾ? ಈಗ ಈ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು ನಮಗೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇದು ಎ ಯಾವುದು? ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ. ಬಿ ಯಾವುದು? ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಹೈಡ್ರಾಕ್ಸೈಡ್. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಬಿ ಆನ್ ಹೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಸಿ. ಈಗ ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನ ಹೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾವುದು? ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಇಸ್ ಎ reacted with water to form B, that is calcium hydroxide. Now B, nothing but calcium hydroxide, is heated. So you're heating calcium hydroxide. So you get something. Or so heating forms an oxide C. Whenever you heat it, what is there in it? Water, right? ಆ ವಾಟರ್ ವೇಪರ್ ಫುಲ್ ಇವಾಪರೇಟ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಸಿ. ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಂಥದ್ದು ಸಿ, ವಿಚ್ ಆನ್ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿತ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಬಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ವಾಟರ್ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ? ಏನು ಸಿಗಬೇಕು? ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಹೈಡ್ರಾಕ್ಸೈಡೇ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದೇನು? ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಬಿ. ಎ ಇಂದ ಬಿ, ಬಿ ಇಂದ ಸಿ, ಬಿ ಇಂದ ಮತ್ತೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಸಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಮುರ್ಗಾ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಅವರು CBSE ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ಯೂರ್ಲಿ CBSE ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್. ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಆ CBSE. ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ಗೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸಿಟಿ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ABC, ಗಿವ್ ದ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್. ಒಂದು ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಬರೆದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್, ಹೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಥರ್ಡ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಸಿ ಅನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ವಾಟರ್ಗೆ ಡಿಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. CaO ಪ್ಲಸ್ CaO plus water forming CaOH whole twice. This is B, this is C. So ABC is kuda identify madaitu. A is calcium. What is A? Calcium. What is B? Calcium hydroxide. What is C? Calcium oxide. 54th one. An alkali metal A gives a compound B. Okay. Alkali metal A gives a compound B with a molecular formula 40. Regarding this, we have already solved one question. Do you remember? No, ma'am. Okay, fine. On reacting with water, it is giving a compound B. The compound B gives a soluble compound C on treatment with aluminium oxide. So first, first sentence na artha madkolna. Ready? Enadu? An alkali metal A, let me take that as sodium, that is reacting with water. Okay, it forms a compound B. Compound and NaOH ಇಲ್ಲಿ H2 is a molecule. So I'm not taking this because this is a compound. The compound B gives soluble compound C on treatment with aluminium oxide. So this also we have learned. Aluminium oxide, NaOH. Right? With base, it will behave like an acidic oxide. So then when this compound B reacts with aluminium oxide, it gives C. Then what should be the product here? Oxygen, sodium, oxygen, aluminium, sodium, plus water. How do you balance the equation? 2. Just write here 2 and this also becomes 2. That's it. Equation is balanced. So this is your C. This is a water soluble compound. ನಾವಾಗಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ aqueous ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಬರಿಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ L ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಬರಿಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ aqueous ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಬರಿಬೋದು, ಇದು S ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಬರಿಬೋದು. Or you can also write it as aqueous. Fine. Identify ABC, give the reaction involved. ABC ಕೂಡ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾವುದೆಲ್ಲ ABC ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ನಾವು A ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ತಗೊಂಡದ್ದು ಸೋಡಿಯಂ ಅನ್ನ, ಇದು A. B ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ಸೋಡಿಯಂ ಹೈಡ್ರಾಕ್ಸೈಡ್. ಸಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಮಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದು ಸೋಡಿಯಂ ಅಲ್ಯೂಮಿನೇಟ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ನೇಮ್? ಸೋಡಿಯಂ ಅಲ್ಯೂಮಿನೇಟ್. ಬರೀರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಸರು. sodium aluminate. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? 55 question. Give the reaction involved during extraction of zinc from its ore by roasting of zinc and calcination of zinc ore. Roasting, Zn sulfide reacts with oxygen to form zinc oxide sulfur dioxide. Calcination, ZnCO3, you're heating in the absence of oxygen, ZnO plus carbon dioxide. Second one is calcination, first one is roasting. 56 question. A metal M does not liberate hydrogen from acids but reacts with oxygen to give a black color product. Should be copper alva? Copper. Because copper on reaction with oxygen forms copper oxide. Copper oxide is what color? Black color. What is it metal? It is copper. Next, identify M and black colored product and also explain the reaction of M with oxygen. So identify M. M is copper here, right? So we identified M is equivalent to copper. Black colored product. Black colored product is CuO. Also explain the reaction of M. This is the reaction. It is an oxidation of copper reaction. 57 question. An element forms an oxide A2O3 which is acidic in nature. Identify A, metal or non-metal. A2O3. It is an oxide, acidic. If it is acidic, acidic oxides are formed by non-metal. Acidic oxides are formed by non-metal. It can be either B2O3 or N2. N2O3 also sometimes. Next, a solution of copper sulfate was kept in an iron pot. After a few days, the iron pot was found to have a number of holes in it. Explain the reason in terms of reactivity. Write the equation of the reaction involved. Yaake iron pot nalli holes bantu? Why you can see a lot of holes on iron pot? Yaake? Say that this is the iron pot and you have kept copper sulfate solution. Can I use ಯಾವ ಕಲರ್ ಕಾಪರ್ ಸಲ್ಫೇಟು? ಬ್ಲೂ ಕಲರ್. ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು? ಅಯನ್ ಪಾಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಅಯನ್ is coming and contacting with Fe. So from copper sulfate, copper is displaced by Fe so that you observe maximum pores on the pot. A pot naliruva ella Fe ivaga elli bantu? Solution ige bantu. All the Fe is involved in the solution. All the Fe ನನ್ನ ಪಾಟೇ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ. So from the pot, Fe is getting into the solution. That's why you observe minor pots on the minor pores on the pot. E pot ali yaake pores barutte? Because that pot is made up of Fe. Now Fe is getting into the solution to displace copper. So copper gets accommodated on the surface of the pot, inner line of the pot. Inner line ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇವಾಗ copper accommodate ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, but ferrous is getting inside the pot. This is the equation. So 59th question, let's read the question now. A non-metal A, which is the largest constituent of air, what is it? Nitrogen. Nitrogen gas. When heated with H2 in the ratio of 1:3, in the presence of catalyst Fe gives a gas B. This is little bit higher order. So ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾನೇ explain ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. Nitrogen plus hydrogen forms ammonia. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ 2 ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ 2 ಸೋಡಿಯಂ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಏನಾಯ್ತು 1:3. ಒಂದು ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ಗೆ 3 volumes of hydrogen anta heltare avaru. Okay, so in the presence of catalyst is somebody who can accelerate the reaction, so it gives B. What is B here? Ammonia is B. On heating with oxygen, it gives an oxide. So now this B is further reacting with oxygen, it is giving oxide. It could be NO2 or NO. Aita, you can keep it as NO2. So actually it should be NO. Nitric oxide is the one which you get. Now this oxide is passed into water. NO is passed into water. It forms nitric oxide, HNO3. Okay. So identify A, B, C, D. A is nitrogen. B is ammonia. C is nitric oxide. D is HNO3. That's it. To which group of the periodic table does this non-metal belongs to? This question they might not ask you because they have deleted the syllabus, but it is there for state board. So it is nitrogen, that should belong to 15th group. How? You should learn in higher classes. Okay, next 60th question. Give the steps involved in the extraction of metals of low and medium reactivity from their respective sulfide ore. Okay, give the steps involved in the extraction of metals of low and medium reactivity. Now already madidinalva, low anta helidaga you have copper sulfide, you're heating with oxygen to form copper oxide plus sulfur oxide. Correct? Now copper sulfide plus copper oxide undergoes auto reduction to form copper. This is what you had extracted, copper from low end. From low end you have one more metal. What is it? Mercury. Mercury sulfide plus oxygen forming mercury oxide plus sulfur dioxide. Correct? Mercury oxide is not stable, so it undergoes decomposition to form mercury plus oxygen. These two, mercury from cinnabar, copper from chalcocite. Okay, ಇದು ಹೀಗೆ ನೀವು extract ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. Now getting back to medium reactivity, zinc sulfide heating with oxygen to form zinc oxide plus sulfur dioxide. By roasting you can extract zinc from zinc sulfide. Later zinc oxide can be reduced using carbon to form zinc plus carbon monoxide. So you extracted what? Zinc, right? Now if you want to extract manganese, MnO2, use aluminium as the oxidizing agent, reducing agent, and you can extract manganese with the formation of Al2O3, right? So here you got Mn reduced. Manganese is nothing but what? Medium reactivity metal. Zinc also can be extracted in the carbonate form by heating it in the absence of oxygen, and you get zinc oxide plus carbon dioxide. Right? This is the calcination method. So this reactions actually go for low reactivity series. Metal extraction from low reactivity and metal extraction from medium reactivity. Right? Next one. Explain the following. Reactivity of aluminum decreases if it is dipped in HNO3 due to the formation of Al2O3. A passive, aluminum becomes passive towards HNO3 due to the formation of Al2O3. ಆ Al2O3 ಹೇಗೆ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಯಿತು? HNO3 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಂಥದ್ದು ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಅನ್ನು. ಈ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಅಲ್ಯೂಮಿನಿಯಂ ಟು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ Al2O3. Once this Al2O3 is formed upon the surface of aluminum, it will become inert for the further reactions. Next, carbon cannot reduce the oxides of sodium and magnesium. Yake? Because these metals have higher affinity for oxygen than carbon. Or in other words, oxygen has high affinity. Oxygen has high affinity towards metals like sodium or magnesium than carbon. NaCl is not a conductor of electricity in solid, but whereas it does in aqueous as well as in molten due to movement of ions. In solid state, ions are not moving, ions are rigid, hence it will not conduct electricity, but in aqueous or liquid state, it will move. That's why it conducts electricity. Next, iron particles are galvanized to prevent corrosion. Metals like sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium are never found in their free state because they are highly reactive and either present in the form of oxide or chloride form. Either present in oxide or chloride form. Correct? So very important reasoning type of questions. Very important. Because most of the time from this chapter they focus on reasoning type of questions only. 62 question. Last question of this exemplar series. We have almost all, I guess, 30 to 35 questions now. Now, given below are the steps for the extraction of copper from its ore. Write the reaction involved. Roasting of copper sulfide. Cu2S plus oxygen forming Cu2O plus sulfur dioxide. Balance the equation. You write here 2. So sulfur becomes how much? 2. Oxygen becomes 3, right? And copper becomes 2 2s are 4, right? Hey, 1 second. Cu2S plus oxygen forms Cu2O plus SO2. 2 copper, 1 sulfur, 1 sulfur. Oxygen is not balanced here. So I'll write here 2 and this becomes 2. 2 2s are 4. So I'll write here 2 again. And this becomes 2. So copper is 2 2s are 4, copper is 2 2s are 4. 2 sulfur, 2 sulfur. 2 oxygen plus 2 2s are 4 oxygen. 6 oxygen it becomes. So I should multiply this side by 3. Okay, this is the equation. Reaction of copper oxide with copper sulfide. Cu2S plus Cu2O forming 6 times Cu plus 1 time SO2. Okay, how do you balance it? Just you have to write here 2. That's it. Electrolytic refining. Electrolytic refining. So if I take copper sulfate as electrolyte, then at cathode copper 2 plus ions receives electron to get deposited as copper on the pure cathode. At anode, copper gets into solution as copper 2 plus, losing electron. So at anode, it gets oxidized. At cathode, it gets reduced by accepting and losing electron. So that's it. Hope the entire session was helpful. You got some questions to be solved at higher order level. So ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟಫ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ, ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಈಸಿ, ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ರಿಪೀಟೆಡ್, ಬಟ್ ಈ ಸಲ ಹೇಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ 1% ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಟು ಟ್ವಿಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಟು ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ ದ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಸ್ ಬೆಟರ್, ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಸ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್, ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್. ದ ಮೋರ್ ದ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಯು ಗೇನ್, more it will help for your future classes. So all the best. I'll meet you in the next video. Until then, bye. Take care. Thank you so much for watching my video. Bye.